talent in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 now.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Mansour. This is called Communicating Today. We've been on Channel 10 for a very long time, over 25 years. And tonight we're going to be doing show, believe it or not, number 766 with this nice gentleman sitting over here alongside of me, who I will introduce to you in a moment. But first of all, I just want to let you know that we come on 3 times every week. For you watch this on a regular basis. Come on every Wednesday evening in prime time at 8:30 p.m. Every Friday morning for you early birds when you're driving to work and you're emailing and you're texting and you're doing all kinds of things that you shouldn't be doing while you're driving your car, because that's very dangerous. You should be concentrating on your driving. But also third time on Sunday afternoons at 3:30. Before I go any further, though, I want to dedicate this program, show number 766, to my beloved sweetheart, Dolores Didi Mansour. You'll see her picture and I when we were around 40 years old, many, many years ago, celebrating a special occasion. I miss you, honey. I love you. I can't wait to see you someday. But we got an important show to do tonight with this nice gentleman sitting alongside of me here. And before I introduce Mohammed, I am going to mention that he represents a wonderful country that has an ancient history to it. Several thousand years ago, there was an old country by the name of Persia, and it was ruled by a wonderful ruler by the name of, his name was Cyrus the Great. And this goes way, way back, and it was a wonderful country, it was a beautiful country, and it was a great country, and the people loved their leader, they loved Cyrus the Great. But during the next several thousand years, a lot of things have happened. The country has changed. And in more recent years, it's gotten to be not such a very good country anymore. And my good friend, my guest for tonight's program, and let me introduce him right now, Dr. Mohammed Hamzepour is my guest. Mohammed, thank you so much for being on our program for the second time. He was on a few months ago talking about what is going on in his beloved country of what is now, it's not known as Persia anymore, of a couple of thousand years ago. Now it's known as Iran. And it's got all kinds of bad connotations about something called terrorism. There's a lot of bad economic things going on over there right now. And we're going to talk about what's going on today. He is also the founder of a terrific organization called the Iranian American Patriots. And it's abbreviated IAP, in that order, Iranian American Patriots. And we're going to be talking about that. He's the founder of it, and I guess we should get right into our interview, Mohammed. You started the Iranian American Patriots. How long ago did you start that?
First, I want to say hello to everybody, all your watchers, distinguished member of your show. That's an honor for me today, for the second time that I'm here, that I'm going to just, have a wonderful time definitely with you. And speaking of just, how long ago, I started 2015 to be exact, prior to just, not prior, actually, after the candidacy of Donald J. Trump. Yeah. And I started to just, establish this organization based on the patriotism. Yeah. Because when I've heard from the candidate Donald Trump, keep saying that from the beginning, American Patriots, that touched my heart. Yeah. And I just realized that that's a very, very, very just outstanding word is coming from the future leader of a country as a candidate. So I've realized that that's the time for me to just combine and say Iranian American Patriots, who actually are residing since 1979, total of 1.7 million, scattered all around just, U.S. and rest of it just in European countries. Altogether 7 million, just, migrated to different part of the globe. So that's exactly what just the reason was I just, select that name. And enthusiastically I've just, said that this is the way we wanted to go parallel to the ideas of this future president. That's what I selected. And
so you started around 2015, and then you left your country. How long ago did you leave Iran yourself? When did you leave?
1970.
1970, around the same time
48 years ago.
As the Shah of Iran left.
That's right. So Shah of Iran just left 79.
Right, 79. But you left before that.
9 years prior to that.
Yeah,
I was just,
because when the Shah left Iran, there was a lot of problems going on. and some bad people wanted to come in and throw the Shah of Iran out of the country and put some new leadership in there, but it turned out that the new leadership wasn't very good leadership, and you fled the country a few years before the Shah did, of course, as you mentioned, and you came to the United States, and a lot of other people left Iran, I think, at around the same time. I guess a couple of million people left your country because they didn't like what was going on.
No doubt about it.
And they didn't like that they threw the Shah out of the country, and they brought this new leadership in, which turned out to be very bad leadership, and which is existing today, even now in 2018. And you people that left your country are determined to get back to your country again someday in the near future and hope that you can turn things around and you can throw these bad people out of Iran and bring it back to the wonderful, beautiful country that it was before that, going all the way back to Persia, way back a couple of thousand years ago when it was a beautiful country. And it's not a beautiful country. It's a beautiful country, but it's the wrong leadership is in the country right now. And a lot of terrorism has come from Iran. They sponsor a lot of terrorism. In fact, 9/11, which happened in New York back in 2020 on September the 11th, a lot of people say it was probably caused by Iran. They were probably the sponsors of 9/11, which happened that destroyed those beautiful World Trade Center buildings and so forth. But you want to get back to Iran again, and you started this in Iranian American Patriots, and you got the support of your countrymen, and you got people standing behind you. And one of these days, I even asked you before the show, when do you think you can get back to Iran again? And you told me sometime soon. How soon will you think you'll get back to Iran?
Very good question. Actually, just, 38 years ago, if you wanted to ask me, I wouldn't be able to be that much accurate.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be, actually I said always in politics 2 + 2 is not 4. But now I want to say that we are getting close to that number 4. Because we got a president who is going to help just, first, the safety and security of that region. Not Iran. 6 other countries are going to be included. So which means his comprehensive plan is going to save not Iran and others country as well. And most of the people, especially Democrat in this country altogether, they don't understand his comprehensive policy, and they keep saying that he's not a politician. I always say that politics, economics, sociology, and law, they are cousin to each other. Yeah. You can't be a good businessman not to know really politics. But anyway, with all due respect, we are not hoping. I'm just, thinking soon, because we have a two right now, severe sanction and mild sanction. It happened just a couple of weeks ago. And after that mild sanction, which actually is going to paralyze economically, because I said that just 18 months ago, I said that this country will be paralyzed economically. That was my message that I said on television, different television and different newspaper. So which means my message is just coming close. Yeah. And because this country is facing to kind of economical disaster, that the necessity of the society want to be a luxury. And always I said that when piece of bread, cheese and bread wanted to be a luxury for every society, that's going to be completely the collapse of that regime. Now, based on that fact, the severe sanction is going to be November 4th. People, they don't understand that, why this president selected, but I can guess that selection of that day, it has a purpose behind that. Right. They are going to show to the Iranian people, not to Iranian, to those maniacs who just invaded our country, and they're going to be called hostage taker. We have 88 million hostages under these maniacs, these invaders, with the different identities from different countries. So he is going to show that people of America, folks, those just, people who really did that just, things, they are going to face the consequences. Yeah. America would not forget that 444 days of hostage. Yeah. Not today, not tomorrow, not even next century, as long as they are going to be in tower.
We won't forget. We won't
in
forget
the tower of power.
Right.
So which means that's exactly what just, he selected 4th of November. Yeah. That's going to be severe sanction behind that. And that severe sanction brings their lip touching to the ground with no shadow of doubt. Yeah. Now they're waiting and just, making some kind of excuse to face to the war. For instance, today they showed a show of strength of just empty bigotry, goodwill gesture that said, we are going to close a Strait of Hormuz. But I keep saying that no more war is going to be implemented by this regime because they don't have the full support of their own people.
Right.
They have a just minimum of maybe 5 to 10% max
of
from
the population.
That's it.
That's all.
That's all.
Right. But I know that you were a big supporter of President Donald Trump back in 2016, and you felt that he had the motivation and the desire to do something on behalf of Iran, on behalf of your country. So you and your compatriots who fled the country many, many years ago supported President Trump, and he won by a very small margin, but he won and he became our new president. But you knew that you had an ally, you had a friend in the White House, in President Trump. And he has admitted that he is a supporter of your country, and he supports what you people are doing with the Iranian American Patriots organization that you started. And he is behind you, and that's why he has placed all these sanctions, many sanctions on Iran, making it very difficult for the country to survive with all these sanctions. And he has also enlisted the aid of the United Nations to place restrictions on Iran, and has gained the support of our allies, all of our countries, our allies, that we should try to throw these people out of that country and get rid of the bad government and put a new good government in there. And I know that you're a pretty popular guy, Mohammed, because I know that you have a lot of friends, and you know a lot of people, not only in the United States, but around the world, and you have a friend of Donald Trump in the White House. And I would imagine, is there a possibility that if we ever win Iran back again and make it a wonderful country again, that you could possibly be a candidate for president of your beautiful country of Iran? What do you think? You're smiling.
Actually, I don't want to just make any comment based on what you're saying, John.
I'm embarrassing.
No, thank you very much. But, you know, actually, I want to call myself as one of the opposition leader right now. Yeah. Because speaking of just getting any title, that we don't know what the people wants. Yeah. In future of Iran, we have just a couple of options. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Communism, definitely rejected. Right. Socialism, definitely rejected. Yeah. It's going to be 2 left. Monarchy and republic. So based on these 2 choices, the people of Iran will decide what they want. I want to be a soldier of that, nation. I'm ready to die. I said from the beginning of 40 years ago, I'm not going to stop my goals, and I'm going to shrink out this just regime of stage chemotherapy for cancer, with no shadow of doubt. One way or another, I just promised to myself first, not to anyone else. I just said that this regime, before I die, I want to see the collapse of this regime with no shadow of doubt. Yeah. That's why, speaking of future, plan, that future plan is in hand of the people of Iran. Yeah. If the people of Iran wants me to serve them as a soldier, I'll be honored. I'm
going to vote for you, just like you voted for Trump.
Thank you.
You guys are the best of friends. I just got the 2 minute. I just got the halfway signal.
All right.
I got to go back to camera, reintroduce the show for you folks who may have tuned in a little bit late. I'm John Munsell. This is called Communicating Today. We've been on Channel 10 for a very, very long time. In fact, we're doing show number, believe it or not, 766 tonight with my wonderful guest, this nice gentleman sitting alongside of me here, who's on our program for the 2nd time. He was on about 6 months ago. His name is Dr. Mohammed Hamzepour, and he is a wonderful expatriate Iranian citizen who left his country many years ago because of all the terrible things that were going on in his country of Iran, now being controlled by some very bad people who like to do things like terrorism around the world, and like 9/11, and holding 400 and some hostages prisoner for many, long period of time, and all that's now over the dam. But this is what that country did over there. And my good friend here, Dr. Mohammed, has started a wonderful organization called the Iranian American Patriots, abbreviated IAP. And he has a wonderful website, too, by the way, which we're putting up at the bottom of your TV screen periodically during the course of our 28-minute show. A lot of good information on there about the Iranian American Patriots, about what's going on in Iran and why they want to go back to their beloved country and put a new government in there and new people in there to make it and restore it to the wonderful, beautiful country it used to be a couple of thousand years when it was known as Persia. And it was ruled by a wonderful leader by the name of Cyrus the Great, who was a wonderful leader of Persia. But it's not Persia anymore. Now it's Iran, and a lot of terrible things are going on over there. But he's my guest for my program tonight, and his website is being shown at the bottom of your screen periodically during the course of our 28-minute show. So feel free to contact that website. There's a lot of good answers on there if you have any questions about what's going on there right now, and what we hopefully will happen sometime in the very near future when the good people get back into Iran again and get rid of the bad government that they have in there right now. We're into the second half of our show, Mohammed, so I guess when you think about Iran, a lot of people are pointing fingers at Iran and saying it sponsors a lot of terrorism. You have organizations over there called Al-Qaeda, Hamas, the Taliban, ISIS, Hezbollah, and all these are terrorist organizations that are promoting and sponsoring terrorism all over the world. They've had terrible things, acts going throughout Europe and South America and the United States and all around the world. And that's one of the reasons that you want to get back into that country again of Iran and get rid of this terrorism. And also they're a nuclear threat. They're trying to develop a nuclear capability and put a nuclear head on an intercontinental missile and maybe fire that missile at the United States or some other country and cause a lot of havoc and danger around the world. A very terrible nuclear thing. And they're very unstable, and there's a lot of unrest going on right now. And the one thing they want to do, I guess, is they want to get rid of Israel. They don't think that there should be a country named Israel that should exist in this world. They don't even think there was something called a Holocaust. The Holocaust never happened, is what the Iranians say. We all know that's not true. There was a Holocaust sponsored by the Nazis in Germany, 75 years ago. But this is what's going on in your beautiful country of Iran, and you want to get rid of that, and you want to turn it around, and you're doing a wonderful job, and I commend you, and I compliment you.
Thank you.
What do you want to add to that?
I'm going to tell you that I'm 100% determined, as I said, to remove this cancer, one way or another, number one. And speaking of, again, the time that you said, I'm getting very close to my mission. Because again and again, before we were thinking about maybe years, but now people are just, demanding and exposing themselves without any fearness, coming on the street and just, because this time is not the same young, just ages who actually 2008 came out of their house, wanted to really just invite themselves to the Evins jail or just, to the cemetery. Now their parents are coming and supporting them. And that's the difference between 2008 and now. And that's why people are ready. And just the regime of Iran knows that. They just already just trying to vacate voluntarily, just, to get out, to bring all those funds to different, just, bank accounts just in different countries. They don't know that, for instance, one just bank account, $148 billion was frozen right now, in process to be frozen, because of Hussein Obama, the former president, brought 2,500 just terrorist relatives, sons, daughters to this country in United States. So they are in process of soon being deported after they're going to be examined. What kind of just relationship they have their family, and even that money will be frozen. Which means what I'm trying to say, everything is going to work in our direction now, and I can feel it. Not just based on imagination or just, kind of bigotry that I wanted to use. The matter of bigotry is not the issue. The matter of seriousness and determination of our goals and our IAP members are so high that the people of Iran right now, just listening to my voice every week, 2-3 times, 40 million of just supporters of mine around my neighboring countries, the Sunni religion, converting my just Farsi just language into Arabic language, because I'm just giving them high degree of hope as a just future soldier of that nation, that I'm trying to tell them that no more minority wanted to be singled out for the future of Iran. The future of Iran leadership is going to have an equality between different religions. We are not going to really just be a sponsor of just one specific Shias, which is, I call it, fake Islam, because the real Muslim is Sunni, which actually is 1.4 billion just members has, in opposed to 100 million, which was made out 1400 years ago by the British government. So that's why I'm trying to differentiate and prepare everybody's mind and brain. Look, enough is enough. We are not going to have any animosity toward each other. We are going to have equality, number one, and then we want to bring secularism. separation. This is very important that Reza Shah, the father of the king, wanted just to do it. Unfortunately, the time was not just match for his just code, and finally they just realized that he better just be out of the country, because he wanted to just follow the indoctrination of Ataturk, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And now we are determined, I repeat, we are determined to just accomplish that goal with no shadow of doubt. The secularism between mullahocracy and the people of Iran wanted to run the government for their own destiny is going to be separated. No longer we are not going to allow those just people to interfere about the internal affairs of the government. Or, for instance, another mission of mine, the law school in future in Iran. The requirement of Quran or Arabic language for people wanted to be a judge or lawyer. It's supposed to be eliminated from the constitution, the old constitution. I prepared my new constitution is here, which means we prepared everything already. That's here. And just, we have everything already just prepared. And especially the book that the people in education department wanted to replace the book that we have already by the Islamic Republic of Iran, that terrorist organization. That is going to be all just replaced, which means we prepared most of the just primitive steps of the future of Iran. So based on that facts, I wanted just to tell you that, my dear friend, again and again, my just concern is to see that change as soon as this president wanted to be allowed to focus on these matters instead of really be disturbed from those just I call it, I'm sorry for my language, I call it brainless Democrat. I don't want to insult anybody, but I wanted just to use that because those brainless Democrats are competing negatively to the president that actually he's trying to show his success so far in the last 2 years. He's working about 18 years of success of every president. If it want to be calculated in next just 6 years, trust me. I just don't say in politics definitely, but I'll say trust me that word that he's going to accomplish this country be ahead 150 years from today. The way he's just doing and all his promissory note to himself is going to be accomplished one by one. And I hope those jealous people that could stop their just negative action, let him to finish the job instead of alleging after 2 years of consumption of the taxpayers' money up to $6 to $7 million. For what? For collusion. For this kind of just subject that is not going to be accepted. For God's sake, even from the beginning I said that the selection of the Mr. Mueller, that's a contradict of just let's say ethically is going to be contradict to just person who knows those people that he selected. Everything is right now set up just by establishment. He is coming from non-establishment and he's going to prove that he is going to win this game with or without even his own Republican. And that's why those Republicans sometimes are embarrassing him that he's disengaging himself and saying that, folks, let me just call myself I am Donald J. Trump instead of being a Republican. Because Republican even embarrassed him from day one that he thought Obamacare wanted to be accepted in matter of first week of his presidency. That didn't happen. That didn't happen, which means that negative jealousy of 16 members that he knocked them down, they cannot see the success. That's all I can say right now about this president, because I'm just ready. I said that to most of my speech. I'll die for this man, because this man deserves for him to be compensated or complimented for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can imagine that you can see now that my guest is very determined, and he is speaking very strongly and very affirmatively on behalf of his beloved country of Iran. I never saw a guy that has much more enthusiasm and excitement in his voice and in his demeanor than my guest for this tonight's show, Dr. Mohammed Hamzepour, the founder and the supporter of the Iranian American Patriots organization, which he founded a few years ago. I don't think I've had a guest on my program recently that has more enthusiasm, and that's the key word to this presentation, is what I call enthusiasm for his beloved country of Iran. And I think he's made a darn good point. It's just a question of time now, I think, Mohammed, when you're going to get back into Iran again and you're going to turn things around and you're going to improve things. And I think there's a lot of unrest that's going. I think there's a lot of people are very uncomfortable in what's going on in your country right now. And I don't know whether or not this could be the possibility of maybe a revolution or a civil war. You think there's a possibility maybe a civil war could take place like what they're having in Syria right now and in some other countries where people don't like what's going on in their country and they revolt and they try to turn the government upside down and get rid of the government and put somebody new in the organization, like the new constitution that you're talking about and all the new developments that you're talking about and you're promoting. I hope they don't have a revolution. I hope they don't have a civil war, because we had one of those in the United States of America 100 and some years ago, the North against the South, and we lost about 500,000 of our beloved citizens from the North and the South killing each other to decide whether or not the North was going to control or whether the South was going to rule. We had one of those terrible civil wars, and we don't want to see anything like that happening in your beloved country of Iran, but maybe it could be a peaceful takeover, a peaceful people coming into the country of Iran. I just got the 2-minute warning. Mohammed, we could go on for another hour because this is a wonderful subject, and I can't thank you enough for coming back on the program on Communicating Today for the second time. You're a terrific guest, and you're such a strong proponent and such an enthusiastic supporter of your beloved country of Iran. We hope it all turns out for the best, and I have a feeling it's going to turn out for the best, because you have the support of millions and millions of people who don't like the way things are going on right now, and they want a peaceful Iran. They don't want a warlike Iran and a terrorist Iran, which is what's going on right now. Thank you so much, Mohammed, for coming on again for the second time. Come back and see us again another time. I got to go back to the camera and start closing out the show. I want to thank you, folks. Come back and see us again. God bless. Come back and see us again, ladies and gentlemen, for another program that we're going to have on for you next week. And I always go out by saying, keep on communicating for success and for wonderful guests, like my guest for tonight's show again for the second time, Dr. Mohammed Hamzepour, the founder of this wonderful organization that he represents, the Iranian Patriots organization of the United States of America. Thank you again for coming back on, Mohammed, and God bless and take care, and we'll see you all next week, folks. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.